Have you ever woke up on a Monday morning, stared at the ceiling, and thought to yourself, why am I still working? Be honest, you've had that thought. We all have. But at some point, you got to stop treating it like a passing idea and start asking yourself seriously, am I actually ready to retire? Of course, working another year, well, that might give you a little more financial security, but let's be real. None of us are getting any younger. Eventually, you're going to have to take the leap. And if you can answer yes to these 6 questions, then it's probably time to put in your notice and start living your life on your terms. But just before we take a deep dive, it's imperative that you hit that like button and subscribe so that you get notified the minute we produce another game changing video that affects your finances. I promise you'll appreciate it. Now, buckle up and let's plunge straight in. So let's start with question number 1. Have you been deferring your life? There are 7 days in a week, and someday, well, it isn't one of them. I had a friend who used to say a bucket list is where dreams go to die. Sounds harsh, right? But also kind of true. Too many of us fall into this trap of binary thinking. I'll work hard now and then I'll enjoy life in retirement. But here's the brutal reality: none of us, and I mean none of us, are guaranteed another day. So if you've been putting off that trip or that hobby or that experience, hoping to get it someday, you might need to rethink your timeline. Now, if you've figured out how to balance work and personal fulfillment, great, keep going. But if you've been constantly telling yourself, I'll do that when I retire, then maybe it's time to stop waiting and start living. So if you answered yes to that question, let's move on to question number 2. Question number 2 is your health suffering? Look, I've got a knot in my shoulder that's been there so long, I've named it after one of my old bosses. Look, the toll of a long career is real. Poor sleep, high blood pressure, stress, back pain. Well, it all adds up. We weren't designed to spend decades hunched over a desk, scrolling through emails and sitting through meetings that could have been an email in the first place. So if your body is starting to wave the white flag, well, it might be time to listen. Your health is priceless, and retirement could give you the freedom to focus on feeling good again. So if your health is telling you time to slow down, it's time to ask the next question, which is it impossible to work less? Now, some companies are starting to offer phased retirements, part time hours, flexible schedules, but let's be real, most companies aren't that generous. So if you've tried cutting back on hours, working from home, or negotiating a lighter workload, and it's just not happening, that's a problem. Listen, I'm not saying you should slack off, but if you spent years showing up early, staying late, and bending over backwards for your job, maybe it's time to ask yourself, who am I doing this for? So, if reducing your workload isn't an option, let's see how you feel about question number 4. And here it comes. Do you wish you had more time for family and loved ones? Now, you can have anything, but you can't have everything. Time is a zero-sum game. The more you give to your job, the less you have for your family and friends. So, have you missed birthdays, anniversaries, family dinners, and you feel that pang of guilt every time? Well, if you found yourself looking at old photos and thinking, wow, where did all the time go? It might be time to step back and reclaim some of those precious moments. So, if you wish you had more time for your loved ones, let's keep going. On to question number 5. Do you know what you're going to do after you retire? Now, there's an old joke about a dog that chased a car. What happens if the dog actually catches it? Well, retirement is kind of like that. Many people retire only to find themselves sitting on a couch wondering, now what? If you've got a plan, whether it's travel, volunteering, picking up a new hobby, or just finally finishing that stack of books, well, you're golden. But if you haven't figured that part out yet, you might want to press pause until you do. So have you got a plan? Great. So let's tackle the last question. Can you afford it? Now, obviously, this is the big one. If you haven't crunched the numbers yet, now's the time. Well, you've got two options. Hire a financial planner to help you work through the details, or do it yourself. Now, there are tons of free calculators and resources online to help you figure that one out. But whatever you do, don't retire without knowing the math. If the numbers work, congratulations, you're ready. So, did you answer yes to all 6 questions? If you did, it's time. Life is too short to spend your best years sitting in an office or grinding away at a job that's no longer serving you. So don't wait. Start mapping out your exit right now. And if you're wondering how to make sure you don't outlive your retirement savings, well, check out a future video right here on this network, and I'll see you there. Have a great day.